What is up, Unbound? Hello and welcome back to another community update. This is the community update for November of 2022. Believe it or not, Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and just after that, Christmas. I know it's already here, but here's another thing to think about is that if you're excited about those two things, then in January, Basecamp is coming up, and so then we all get to see each other in person again. So lots of very fun, very exciting things coming up. But in the meantime, here is a quick overview of all of the things that you need to know going on in the Unbound community for the month of November. As always, links to everything that I talk about will be in the description down below. Starting off with the forums, over on the Unbound Forums, the exercise challenge just wrapped up, so congrats to the Warriors for winning over the Gladiators. It was a ton of fun to watch all of the points rack up, and it was a pretty close race, so those challenges are always a ton of fun. The gift exchange is going on right now. I've been told that some people have already started receiving some of the gifts for the exchange, so that's super fun. And the end of the year games from the Rangers are coming up very, very soon. So if that announcement isn't out already, make sure to stay tuned for when those come out. Over on Empower calls, they're all still going strong, and the ECN has told me that if you guys are interested in leading an Empower call, if you would like a chance to lead a conversation on a video call with some fellow Unbounders about a topic that interests you, make sure to let them know. They're always on the lookout for people to be leading calls. Over on the Be Unbound YouTube channel, Abe Tama and the rest of the media team are, as always, hard at work. They're working on creating the itinerary for videos coming out next year, but in the meantime, they've got some stuff coming out pretty soon here. They just released their Work Your Way Back from Death short film that we filmed at Capstone, which was a lot of fun. It's a very entertaining video. You should go check it out if you haven't already. And coming up pretty soon here later this month, there will be a new Ascend story and a new skit about rushing to get your assignments done. You guys wouldn't know anything about that, would you? So that's coming towards the end of this month as well. If you're not already subscribed to the Be Unbound YouTube channel, make sure to go do that. Also, speaking of subscribing to the Be Unbound YouTube channel, that channel just hit 1,000 subscribers. So make sure next time you talk to Abe or Tama to congratulate them on all their hard work. Right here on the podcast, we are actually closing in on the end of season 5 of the podcast. It is doing really well. We've had a ton of great episodes. In our talk series, we just finished an episode on quiet quitting that just came out. If you're wondering what that is, or if you're familiar with it already and would like to hear Unbound's take on it, make sure to give it a listen. Over on Pursuits, we've had on some of our people who are in construction, and coming up pretty soon, we're going to have some of our accountants on the show. And with Unbound Conversations, we've had a fantastic lineup of guests this season. We have had Luke Zamperini and Sammy Cohn, who both gave excellent conversations at Apex and on the podcast. So if you enjoyed their sessions at Apex, make sure to check out their episodes. And we have the final 2 of the season coming up. And guys, let me tell you, these 2 last guests are super exciting. The finale of this season is going to be one of our bucket list guests that we have for the podcast. So you do not want to miss out on it. And now it's time for the question for the community. If this is your first time tuning into the community update, this is a segment where every single community update, I ask you guys a question and you respond to that question in the Ascend Slack or in the thread on the Unbound Forums. And then I pick my favorite 3 answers to shout out in this update. So, last month's question got a ton of great responses. I love reading through all of them. And that question was, if you could add any game or activity to the schedule at Apex, what would it be? So, my favorite 3 answers. First, kicking things off in the Ascend chat, Chloe, along with several other people who agreed with her, said that Capture the Flag would be a ton of fun. And I think that we might have done some variations of Capture the Flag before at Apex, but I'm sure that the 2023 cabinet could come up with a great way to have just a gigantic camp-wide game of Capture the Flag that could be a ton of fun. Over on the Unbound Forums, Shalamas recommended that we try out a masquerade ball. Now, that would be really fun because we've done, events where we dress up before in the past, but not necessarily a masquerade ball. So that would be a new experience for us. I wonder if we know anyone who might have experience putting on a masquerade ball. And finally, last but not least, in the Ascend Slack, Rachel suggested an extended relay race with an unopened bottle of Coke. At the final phase of the race, one team member has to drink the now very foamy, fizzy, and explosive 2-liter of Coke. And the reason that I picked this one is actually when I was a teenager, the young adult camp or the youth camp that I went to in the summer actually pretty much did this exact same thing. It was a big relay race with where you had to carry, I think it was just a soda can through the entire thing. So I can confirm that was a ton of fun. So all of these ideas were fantastic. 2023 Cabinet, if you're listening, make sure that you are taking notes and go and look through all the other entries as well. There were some fun ones. But if your answer didn't get picked, there is always this next upcoming episode. I have a new question that will be airing in the December community update. And that is, we talk a lot about questions in Unbound, asking good questions, being in a questions-based paradigm. We use questions-based education. This whole show is a question. So here's one for you. If you could ask any person, dead or alive, one question, who would you ask? And what would you ask them? So if you have an entertaining, thoughtful, or funny answer to that question, make sure to leave it in the replies in the Ascend Slack or on the Unbound Forums for a chance to be featured in next month's update. All right, and now I have an update on several new things that we have coming out in Unbound, several new programs that you may want to be aware of, and you may want to get some of your friends in on if you want to expand the community with a bunch of awesome people just like you. So first of all, in case you haven't heard, we have Ascend Semester that the enrollment is now open for. And Ascend Semester basically is just taking all of the great things about the full year of this the Ascend program that you're already in and condenses them into a 16-week program that starts in January. And they get a lot of great stuff. They get to come to base camp. They get to be part of a team. They get to work on a project. Ton of the great stuff about Ascend just condensed into the spring semester and for a lower price. So if you know anyone who would be interested in that, regular enrollment is open through the end of this month, and then the price goes up. So make sure to let your friends know about that if you think they'd be interested. And speaking of the price going up, we actually already have early enrollment open for Ascend 2023. And it is going to be guaranteed the lowest price that you can get for Ascend 2023 if you have someone enroll now. And it can be payments for as low as $500 a month, depending on your degree plan. So if you or anyone you know is interested in Ascend 2023, make sure to talk with our admissions department about that. And we also have Unbound Cohorts. I teased that a little bit last month, but now we have some full details. Cohorts is a program that is on a monthly basis where the Unbound staff guides you through a book every single month that's on a particular theme or topic. And then as along with that, they provide some resources, some recommendations for additional books, videos, podcasts. You get access to a really cool content library of Unbound content, as well as some exclusive content from the Unbound staff. And each month you get a live call with other members of the cohort each month. And all of that can be yours for $15 a month. If you want to try out Cohorts, make sure to check that out at beunbound.us/cohorts. And last but not least, if you haven't heard about Unbound's online events, we are going to be having another one here in mid-November, November 14th through 16th. It's specifically targeting parents and students who are wondering what's going to be next for them after high school. And so if you know anybody who might be interested in hearing some sessions from the Unbound staff about that, registration is just $15. Again, that is November 14th through 16th. And you can find out more about it at beunbound.us/online-event. And now, to conclude the show, I believe that I have some words of wisdom for you all.
And this is Words of Wisdom with David Rethemeyer.
There is an old adage that you should always take a moment to stop and smell the flowers. But do the flowers want to be smelled? These did not.
And this was Words of Wisdom with David Rethemeyer.
And that will wrap things up for the November 2022 community update. Thank you all so much for joining me for this month. I will see you once again next month for December's update. If you're interested in anything that I talked about, the links are down below. And now, as always, be unbound.